to the next one, 4 minutes to the one after that. Train is coming. Always on time. Well, almost always on time. Busy, busy train. Busy, busy station. With the music in the background.
Orsay Museum used to be a train station, and it transformed into this lovely museum with a lot of lighting, beautiful lighting that has the sculptures on the main floor and sculptures on the terrace of the second floor. Orsay is possibly the dome of the Impressionism art. Like you have from Monet to Van Gogh to all these big names, Renoir, arts, paintings, very famous paintings. But I still saw a very great collection of other arts like the Realism, Romanticism, nature, figure paintings that have symbolism, portraits, and art history. It has a collection of everything.
This is really cool to me, the fabric in stone folds and tortoiseshell. Not as bad as Mona Lisa, but still pretty crowded. And unfortunately, Starry Night isn't here.
The models also of the Palais Garnier, the opera, is quite astonishing.
Later on in the video, we show you the actual Palais Garnier Opera House, but the cutaway just kind of shows you the scale of everything, how big it was. It's beautiful, huge, amazing architecture, and I was particularly thrilled by the mechanisms for opening and closing the curtains and the stages and the backdrops.
And just 50 kilometers north of Paris, Château de Chantilly, and we headed there over the train. The Château de Chantilly estate consists of the chateau itself, the stables, gardens, and within the gardens there's a race course and a hamlet.
This is wonderful. Look at all the people here. I mean, there's still too many, but the Island of Love. It's actually quite amazing how few people are here after leaving the bustle of Paris, where any path like this would have just been filled with people. It's a pretty day.
Within the English garden stands the Temple of Venus, after some windy path, adding to its romantic charm. The Island of Love continues with the romantic English landscapes, adding touches of some Chinese-inspired theme, like the suggestion of distance and exotic charm. This stunning example of the French Renaissance architecture is one of France's most beautiful historic estates.
I'll be honest, I'm a little disappointed it's not a drawbridge. It's got a moat. Shouldn't it have a drawbridge? See, this is how I should live. Somebody should be feeding me grapes though, I think.
Was originally built in the 16th century, and after the French Revolution it was extensively restored. A private chapel for the Château, dating from the 16th century actually, and it's adorned with stained glass and sculptures. Inside the chateau, the grand apartments. There was also the reading room that hold nearly 19,000 rare and precious volumes, including like medieval manuscripts and early printed books. A gallery of stags, that's basically the dining room. Also, the chateau itself houses an impressive art collection. In a museum inside the chateau called Musée Comte, featuring some masterpieces by Raphael and Delacroix and others.
So the castle was completely destroyed in the French Revolution after the Duc d'Aumale, son of Louis Philip I, bequeathed the entire art collection to the Institut de France, and the stipulation was that nobody could sell anything or loan anything out of the collection. So it's actually this huge collection that rivals a lot of the other museums that we saw.
And the chateau is surrounded by beautiful gardens.
Yay! More stairs!
French garden, a symmetrical classic garden with fountains and statues. And finally, a beautiful hamlet of like 7 houses, which actually inspired the hamlet of Marie Antoinette at Versailles.
Fun fact, the stables were featured in James Bond's A View to a Kill with Christopher Walken and Roger Moore.
The Dauphine Gallery, the biggest flea market. It goes for blocks in several directions. On the sightseeing boat, Eiffel Tower behind us. You should see some other neat things. Deanna's not paying attention. Tower. Crazy people in front of us.
I love this reveal of the Eiffel Tower coming out from under the bridge. You can't imagine the scale of this thing when you're actually standing there looking up at it. It's just enormous.
The history of the Louvre Museum on our left. And in front of us, Le Pont Neuf, the new bridge. This bridge is over 400 years old and is the oldest bridge in Paris. À la izquierda, diary of the Latin Quarter on your right, and next to Notre Dame Cathedral on the left.
We had this group of English school kids that were screaming bonjour at everybody that we passed by the entire time for 2 hours. It got to be rather tedious. However, they're kids, and like I say, bad experiences make the best memories.
We are now heading back towards the Eiffel Tower, and we're going to cruise on the other side of Saint Island.
Sainte-Chapelle is famous for its stained glass windows. They were commissioned by Louis IX, and there are 15 panels of windows with over 1,000 individual, I guess, pictures in them. They depict everything from coronations to biblical stories. I imagine it's probably because people didn't really know how to read back then, and that these were the ways of showing people what the biblical stories were. And this is the Conciergerie. This is a former courthouse and prison, most famous because Marie Antoinette was imprisoned, tried, and sentenced here, then sent off to be executed at the guillotine. Let them eat cake. This is the Palais Garnier Opera House. It was just massive entrance with this beautiful staircase at the start. I imagine people came here more to show off to each other than to actually see the operas, but it was still just this beautiful building, and I really enjoyed it.
Hall in the Palais Garnier in Paris, where a lot of people are taking pictures and selfies. We are at the grand foyer of the Opéra Garnier.
And that, as we say, is a wrap. This is us on the taxi leaving Paris to the airport and off to Greece in the next video. Buildings. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Ring the bell.